Assalamualaikum guys, this is Soha Big. I'm the marketing executive here at DevSync. Every week we bring you guys a new live session where we talk about, your burning topics and everything you guys want us to talk about. We try to we get the industry professionals here and they can give their insights into their journey and also like how they have adapted to their specific industries. And this time around, I wanted to talk about iconic brands and also transitioning into your own ventures. So for that I have Tanya. Tanya, before I give any sort of introduction, I would want you to kind of like tell us about who you are, your experience so far, and basically what you do at Nukta, and your journey that you also had at Kareem. That would be amazing.
So, hi, Dev Singh. Thanks for having me on board. I'm Tanya. I'm now leading Nukta as the co-founder and the chief of brand. Before this, I worked with Tareen. I've always just worked at startups. Uh, so yeah, that's who I am.
Okay, perfect. Acha Tanya, since you have worked at Kareem for 6 years, right? And then you kind of like transitioned into Nukta. That I think itself is a big transition, and especially from the role that you were playing at Kareem. So I would want you to kind of like first talk about it. Okay, how different Kareem was from Nukta and how the transition has been for you so far.
I think it's a very good question, and people expect the answer to be, for me to say that it was very difficult, it was very tough. But I'll be honest, it wasn't. And I think that's more because of the DNA and the values that we had at Curry. We were always taught to be, always aspired to be, entrepreneurs. So we had these values of ownership, of hustling, and doing something yourself and doing something impactful and purpose driven was always appreciated at Kareem. There were lots of people from Kareem, ex Kareemers who left and they started their own businesses, and that was always appreciated. I think Kareem is the only platform in Pakistan where I think which has the most people who left and started their own business. It's just because of the DNA that we had at Kareem, the way that we were taught, to hustle, to have ownership. So yeah, and I think I brought that with myself and Nukta. I wouldn't say it's been very difficult because, like I said, at Kareem, I mean, we weren't the owners, we were still the owners. And at Nukta, I would say we're the owners, but I still bring same values and the same excitement. So it's been good. It's been good.
Okay, that's perfect. And if we talk about, when you started up with Kareem, I've seen that you've been there for like 6 years. And of course, you did transition into your role as well, and you kind of like also grew there. So how was like that? Because we've seen Kareem, becoming a market leader and also having interesting marketing strategies. And since you did head that department, also, I would want you to kind of like talk about that. How was that journey for you? And also, like, of course, with Nukta, it also has its own set of branding. It exists in a very different way as well. So how would you also compare the both and how different it is for you to kind of like handle Nukta, and then how was it when you were, in Kareem for so long?
Yeah, so when I joined Kareem, it was back in 2017. I really, really wanted to join Kareem. I was so passionate about the brand. I was so desperate. I was a young, fresh, almost fresh grad. I just had 2 years of experience, and this role opened up of a social media executive. And I wasn't a social media person, but I was like, this is my chance to get in. So I got in. I took the role, and at that time, Kareem didn't even have a brand team. By the way, there was no brand and we built the brand team. So I joined, and I think a year and a half later, we said, we should have a brand team. And I said, okay. And then our leader, our manager, he said, okay, fine, we build the team, and then I jumped in that team because that's what I wanted to do. And so Kareem grew in front of me, and I'm so glad that I had. I mean, I hope I had a role to grow Kareem because it's such an impactful brand, right? It has done so much for the region, for Pakistan. Before, I don't think anyone would imagine to travel alone. Any woman, any female, imagine to travel alone. But after Kareem, things change, and not just Kareem, Uber as well, and other platforms that have now come up. I think Kareem and Uber were the starters of this you know,
Yeah.
this idea. Um, so yeah, that's how I started. Then I grew, and then we did a lot of campaigns. The kind of brand Kareem was. It was very, you know, I would say it was very out there. It was very blunt. It was very honest, and I love that because that's the kind of brand I wanted to work with, and that's the kind of brand I wanted to build. A brand that has purpose, a brand that has its own personality, a brand that has its own meaning. So yeah, we had our ups and downs, but some good campaigns, some excellent campaigns, some that failed, and but that's okay. We always just learned from them.
Yeah. Also,
So yeah.
yeah, that's perfect. Acha, you also talked about que since it was one of your core values there to have these leadership and entrepreneurial characteristics in you, and you said que you brought this into Nukta as well. So I would want you to kind of like touch on que since when you started your venture and since you're the co-founder of Nukta, how different was it since you were the part of Kareem also from the very start, right? And I'm pretty sure कि जो startup landscape it has changed and evolved so much over the years as well. And also like जो पाकिस्तानी startup culture है या जो हमारा ecosystem है in Pakistan, it's very different from what the rest of the world has. We have our own set of challenges as well. So as a person that is now in a very leadership role of your own venture, how would you say how different were the startup entrepreneurial challenges were when you started back in Kareem, since you were also a major part of it, and also how different it is right now, and also when you do face these challenges, how you kind of like overcome them, especially being in Pakistan.
Yeah, so challenges honestly are there. They just change over time. So when we were at Kareem, like I said, it was difficult to, push people to take rides. It was difficult to push females and women to, take rides with captains who were males and, were strangers to them. Obviously, it was a cultural challenge. Then, of course, there were some campaigns that we did. I can talk about them later as well. That really challenged the society. The society wasn't willing to accept, those topics at that time, about what, 6, 7 years ago. But today, those are topics that are acceptable, and people talk about them. So, feminism being one of them,
Yeah.
respect, privacy, a lot of other topics that are now acceptable weren't acceptable back then. But the challenges remain. I think the challenges back then were actually a little more complex because we were trying to make our people understand that they can, use Kareem as a platform to, go from point A to point B. And also, we were also trying to get captains on board, and we were trying to break that taboo that it's okay to drive a car. You're not a servant if you're driving a car, because the idea behind Kareem and Uber as a platform is that everyone drives. You also drive, I also drive. So if I'm going home, I pick up someone from my building and I take them home because it's on my way. So that was the narrative that we were trying to change. Today at Nukta, the challenges are different. The challenges is a lot of clutter, right? That we have in content. So in content on social media, you see there's a lot of clutter, a lot of content going up. So how do we differentiate amongst that? How do we get the right story out?
Yeah.
That is a challenge, and that's something that we fight every day. But yeah, it's a fun challenge.
Okay, and interestingly, since Pakistan, if we talk about Nukta, it's also operational in UAE and then in Pakistan. And since we know that Pakistan is filled and crowded with so many news outlets, so many news channels, and since you said that standing out can be very difficult too, because like again, yeah, we have also different houses that have been existent for years. So when you guys were starting out with Nukta and you kind of like of course knew that this is the landscape and this is the industry we're entering in. What pushed you guys and what made you believe that this is what we are going to do and this is something that is going to work out regardless of the competition that is out there? How was that like for you guys?
The reason was simple. The reason was dearth of good content. There is a lot of content on social media, on TV, on in newspapers, but good content that you and I can sit down and enjoy with our family, that was missing. So you all know, if you watch TV,
Yeah.
what do we see on TV? What is that? It's just political content, you know, इसने उसको call कर दी, ये हो गया, you know, this happened, this judge, this Supreme Court, XYZ. People are sick of that and they want to move forward. They want more meaningful content that makes a difference in their lives. So we got that was missing. Not just me, it was, you know, all the journalists who we have on board, our founder, Sir Kamran, you know, Faizan, our co-founder, all of us together, we had this, felt that there was this dearth in the industry. And then, of course, you know, TV was dying, is dying. Newspaper has died, I think. And everything is now moving to digital. And there weren't a lot of publications, I mean, TV or media publications focusing so much on digital. So we thought, you know, this is the right platform to focus on. And and put really meaningful content out there. So that's also part of our purpose, by the way. So you know, it's to bring clarity and compassion in this complex world, because clarity is super important. You know, compassion is equally important. So yeah, that's what we decided to do, and that's what we're doing now.
Okay, perfect. And since again you guys are in Pakistan and UAE, right? There must be, the Pakistani audience must be very different from the UAE region. How do you guys make sure that you guys are catering to the individual audiences according to their needs? Because we have seen in Pakistan, with the news and journalism itself, people are very, they get jazbati over different newses, and then maybe with you it might be different. So when you guys are pushing out some things like that, and you might expect a backlash like that coming from maybe UAE or Pakistan, what are your strategies, especially marketing strategies? Because again, both regions are very drastically different.
That's right. So luckily we try to stay away from political content as much as we can. Of course, if there's a big, you know, big story, we cover it. For example, the recent Imran Khan, you know, protest, I think we covered that. But otherwise, we try to stay away from the daily political content that goes out. In UAE, it's, yes, you're right. It's simpler. They have a lot of regulations, and you know, we're not allowed talk so much about political content. And honestly, there's not so much to talk about to begin with. UAE is very happy. It's mostly good, positive content that goes out, and people respond to that. Pakistanis, and that's, I think, an innate personality part that we all have, trait that we have, is that we like negative content. We like mirch masala, like you said, right? We get super jazbati on that content. So it's difficult to change the mindset of people. You know, there's good happening and there's good that you can talk about. So I was just discussing this with my husband, also the co-founder of Faizan, the other day, that there was this one video we did of Mohsin Naqvi and the press conference that he did, and we were kind of trolling him about how his responses were just very, you know, redundant. Uh, and that got the best. That video did very well organically,
Okay.
because we're trolling someone, right? So I think the point that I'm trying to make is if Pakistanis respond better to this as compared to a really nice video about a nice story. So yeah, there are different, you know, audiences, and you need to deal with them differently and put out different content accordingly.
Yeah, makes sense. And now, since we've talked about, your experience in Kareem, Nukta, and also the transition of the role, let's talk about you being in a leadership role as a female. I think that is something that is very important, especially being a co-founder, and also, a place that basically covers so much of news and puts out so many stories. And I'm pretty sure, and Pakistan, we have very less female entrepreneurs in comparison to men. So, how do you feel like has your journey been as a woman coming into this field? We have our own challenges that maybe not men in generally have. How would you compare to that? And also, functioning in a leadership role as itself, how has it been for you so far?
Uh, it's been good.
Mm-hmm.
Been very good. I start from Kareem. And at Kareem, what I saw, the way that women were dealt with, the leadership was always respected. You know, whether they were female, like in the leadership, or whether they were junior, they were always respected. They were always given, you know, first priority. And that's something I try to build here at Nukta as well. Me myself, I've gotten a lot of support from, friends, family, and the office, and the people that, work with us. And I try to pass on the same support to the females in our company as well. So honestly, it's been a good experience. I'm blessed, I would say, that I had this experience. And I want everyone in this organization to feel blessed in the same way, to know that they're supported, to know that they can, and they know that they can always just come to me and talk to me about anything that they're facing. And I'm always going to stand up for them and support them the same way I was supported. So it's something I learned that now I'm bringing here.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I think it's really important, especially as females, we create an environment that we wish we had for ourselves, and we
Yeah.
pass it down. Um, Ashaz, now let's talk about some advices, because I'm pretty sure that so many women, especially the ones that are working under you or that have known you, would want to kind of like stand at your place as well, because it's always great to see another woman succeed. Especially personally, if I'm seeing you at a leadership role, that's very inspiring for me as well. Um, so and especially because हमारे जो recorded live sessions होते हैं उनकी audiences are a lot of like young grads. They really want to kind of like start something of their own, and they have like especially right now in Pakistan there's really a burning desire to get into that startup culture. So what would your advice be to somebody that's a young grad and they want to start something? Because again, you said ki you were a young grad and you got into Careem, that was your dream, and then of course now that has led you to where you are. So what would your advice would be for somebody that wants to make it out there?
To be simple, be obsessed.
Mhm.
So they say that, don't get obsessed with work, but I don't agree with that. You should be obsessed with whatever you want to achieve. And you should live it, breathe it, eat it, sleep it, everything. Yes, it might affect your mental health. So take care of that a little bit. Don't get burnt out. But just be obsessed with the mission and the vision of whatever you're trying to build. A. B, I think it's important that whatever you're trying to build has a meaning to it. So it should have a purpose that you truly want, something that you truly want to change, or anything that you think requires attention. And you should know what that is. So whatever you're building, it should always have a purpose. So I think purpose driven organizations do the best. And if you're obsessed with your work and you hire the right people who are also obsessed with the purpose of the organization, then it'll go far.
Okay. And what would you say to the people that have been, trying to kind of like get in there but get discouraged, because of course this is a very competitive market? And what were your kind of like tips that you used back in the day to kind of like, get up again and do it again? So uske liye, agar if you would, share something that you did back then that helped you.
Yeah. So, by the way, this was not the only idea that I had. Before this, I was trying to work on another idea. That was something that I wanted to do, which was mental health. I was personally very interested in that, and I wanted to make a mental health platform. And I got the design of the app made. I spoke to people. I got these therapists, spoke to them, had a chat with them, and everything. But I just couldn't get myself to launch it for some reason. I just couldn't get myself to launch it. One reason for that is that I am an overthinker. I used to overthink it, and I used to try to perfect everything. And I was like, I take my time. I'll do this slowly, X, Y, Z. And in hindsight, that was not the right approach. And I'll just, so this is a book, by the way, that I just put out here, and I started reading this as well. So it's The Perfection Trap, and perfection really is a trap. I feel like you need to get over perfecting something and just do it, because I feel like once you just the time that you're wasting in thinking and overthinking is time lost. In that time, you could have done something, but you didn't do it. So if you really are passionate about something, just do it. Make that page, post that video, just do it. Nike. But yeah, I feel like we take too much time in thinking about things, and that's something that we all need to stop doing, and just get right into it.
Okay. I would also want you to kind of like talk about the creative campaigns that you worked on, and especially the ones that were the most favorite for you. And also, since you have been part of these campaigns and you guys build them up from scratch, So, what was the best one, and also the one that received the a lot of like praise from the general public as well? And because I'm pretty sure that makes the reaction makes it worth it for you guys as well. So, I would want you to kind of like revisit that.
Yeah, so the praise that we got on this campaign that I'm going to talk about was not positive mostly. Praise has to be positive. But my favorite campaign that I worked on was this campaign that we did at Kareem for Kareem Bike.
Okay.
Tagline was Shadi se bhagna ho to Kareem Bike karo.
I said
And
that. Yeah.
for that. I didn't think it would blow up the way it did. Like I said, it didn't blow up positively, actually blew up negatively. But internally, we celebrated it as a success because we started a conversation, and it was, and as a brand manager, we weren't doing anything wrong. I mean, उसको shopping नहीं करनी तो वो भाग रही है. So what? I don't understand. We never understood why there was so much backlash on it, and though boycott Kareem trended for I think 2 days after this, but we celebrated it because as a brand, you need to stand for something. You need to have, something within you. You need to have a personality. You need to have um, a voice. So we celebrated that, and I think that was one of my favorite campaigns because it started a conversation. And I think there are similar campaigns worldwide that I also like that also have started a conversation. One of them is I don't know if you've seen it, Gillette key campaign थी that men don't cry. Uh, when it was a very good campaign, again a conversation starter. Um, and then there was this other one, this Indian campaign. It's very crass, but it was very good. I don't know if you've seen it again. Akshay Kumar के साथ थी, बाप की रोड. ये तो वो भी मतलब I think campaigns that resonate with the audience and start a conversation do really well, and that's why I think all these are the ones that are at top of mind. But of course, there are many more.
So a question that comes out of this is कि since again as marketing people we have so many ideas, and we've seen in the West world especially they get to experiment with that a lot, but in Pakistan we have a lot of like cultural and traditional limitations here. We cannot maybe openly as, and marketing may you kind of like talk about things openly and creatively, and not everybody is as receptive as we expect them to be. So, how do you guys, maybe there could be times where you would be coming up with something that is very creative, but again, just Kareem Ali campaign, it was not received very well. So, how as creative people you deal with these traditional and cultural limitations where you would want to, practice that creative freedom, but you necessarily cannot do it at the extent you guys want.
You don't deal with them, you fight them. As simple as that. As long as you're not pushing a message that is indecent or is disrespectful, you should fight it. So, like I said, the specific campaign that I'm talking about was not indecent. It was not disrespectful to anyone. It was talking about freedom. It was a joke. Uh, we have no shame, and a brand should not, or any marketing team or branding team should not be, so risk averse. I feel like if you truly believe in something as a brand and as a brand manager, you should put it out and don't be afraid to take risks. For me, I think that's so super important. As long as you know your limits, so you want to stay away from disrespecting one's religion, you want to stay away from disrespecting one's views or opinions about something they're particular about. Otherwise, I think it's just take the risk, just do it.
Oh wow! So you also kind of like coming to the personal side. You showed us that book, Perfection is a Trap, right? So अगर हम थोड़ा सा personal side पे आते हैं, because I think I missed that question earlier as well. कि since you are the co-founder, right, and you kind of like are at this position where maybe the other people in your company would be a bit intimidated or not. I don't know what the the culture there is. I'm pretty sure it's really good. So what kind of boss are you? Like, that's just the question. Like, nothing serious out of it. But what kind of boss you are, and like, also like maybe the people that are maybe at your place, but are not maybe experienced with having teams and don't really necessarily know कि team building hoti kaisi hai. So, what would you advise them? Because this is some questions that we get on a daily basis on team building and being the leader. So, what has been your experience with that?
You should ask my team that. I think they'll answer that better, what kind of a boss I am. But to be honest, I try to be.
Yeah.
Humbly, I try to be a leader, a friend, a colleague that grows the other person. I try to be someone who respects them. I try to be someone who empowers them. That is the kind of leader I try to be, and I hope that I am, successful in being that. And that is also something that I will always tell everyone that that's how you grow a team. Be humble. I feel like being humble goes a long way. By the way, being humble is also one of our values that we have at Nukta.
Yeah.
And growing each other is also another value that we have at Nukta. So, being competitive, overly competitive, or being toxic, or getting into unnecessary politics or conversations or leg pulling should be avoided at all costs. We're all working together. We're all working towards one mission, one purpose, and we're all going to support each other. So none of us can do this alone. We need each other. So we need to respect, love each other, and care about each other. And that's the kind of environment and culture we're trying to foster at Nukta. And I mean, to date, I've heard good things, and I've learned all this from my experience at Kareem. And yeah, that's what we're trying to build at Nukta. And for us, these values of growing each other, building the community, staying humble are super, super important for every leader. That's the advice I'd give to everyone.
Yeah, that's perfect. And the last question would be, are you a chai or a coffee person? What helps you get through the day?
Chai, 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 chai. Definitely chai.
That's every Pakistani right there. Wow, that is such a good advice actually, and I hope it helps a lot of people that are tuning into this session. Okay, Tanya, it was a really really good conversation with you. We really talked about a lot of things, and I hope that this helps a lot of people that tuned in. And also, like, thank you so much for giving us your time, and also for doing such an inspiring work, and also following your dreams and setting a good example for so many people that are out there. With that being said, thank you guys for joining in and for listening to our session. I hope this helps you and everybody. I'll see you guys next week, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz, take care.